My name's Kevin Ogbenaya. I'm the owner and founder of Prince of Peckham. It was my mum's Oxford Street. So like every weekend, my mum would bring us here to buy all the ingredients she needed for like the whole weekly pot of stew, the okra, the plantain, the yam, whatever. We would all, even till this day, my mum lives in Nigeria, she'll still come here and spend the day in Peckham, Rye Lane. But there was always something about South East London in general, I think. There's something that's quite like culturally rich. There was always something like bubbling under the surface, and I think, well, as you can see today, it's getting its flowers, isn't it? My dad never ever once said in my upbringing, like, Chukwu marriage, I'm going to the pub. That even word was never mentioned in my house. So for us, pubs weren't even a thing. But you know, you get older and you go to university, you start befriending people from different cultures, different races, and you see that public houses, pubs are actually a big part of the UK. And I just remember, I think when my perception of pubs changed, there was a pub in West London I used to work at, the most beautiful building, like absolutely beautiful. And it was in the middle of like a very much a working class area, should I say, which was on the come up, gentrified. But it wasn't welcoming to the people in that area. So I was thinking to myself, how is this beautiful building that's probably laid here long before obviously all you gentrifiers come across, and now is now not available to the people that have been here, living here. So I fell in love with pubs, but I always wanted to change the culture. So that's obviously why Prince of Peckham exists today. So it's back in 2015, I made a decision to leave my current employer, my employer at that time. And it was a massive gamble. You know, I had a couple of properties. I was thinking to myself, oh, you know, what am I gonna do, kind of thing. But I knew I hit a glass ceiling with this company. I knew ownership was never going to be an opportunity, but also like stamping my values or my ethos or what I thought a pub was or should represent was never going to come to fruition. So I stepped down. And then, you know, like I said, I was in property, so I sold a flat of mine. I had a flat in East London, which I sold. But you would think it would be enough to buy a pub. Isn't. It just isn't at all. So I remember going to the bank, asking them for a loan. They strung me along for like 6-8 months, saying, yeah, don't worry, da, da, da. But you know, in hindsight, I'm thinking to myself, why would they give me all that money I was asking for? And then I just remember there was a time I just thought, you know, this is done. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna just go get a job or whatever. And my cousin, may so rest in peace, passed away not so long ago. And he said, I remember at the time we had a phone conversation, he said to me, if you don't do this, what are you going to do? This is all you've spoken about for the last 6 months. How are you telling me now you're going to give up because someone's not going to give you? So go and find that money you need to find and add it. And just remember that conversation was so poignant. It was December 2016. So then I thought, okay. I got married not so long ago before that, so I had some money. Like you know, when they douse you with money, I had that money there, and I thought, okay, cool. Who can I reach out to? So I've got a couple of cousins. I thought G Fresh, one of them, Onyemachi, Jason, another ones. There was a girl that I used to work with back at my old company. I said to her, please, can you give me X? So I literally scrimped and said, my dad sent me £2,000 from Nigeria. My dad's got, listen, we're from humble background, bro. Like even for him to even bring me that money was, and I just put it all together. I downsized what I wanted to do. And I thought, let me just get into this building.
I'm G Fresh, from Nigeria. Raised in South London, and I guess, I don't know what the word is, I work in music and other stuff, I guess.
What would you say was like your first experience within the world of business, like as an entrepreneur?
Well, it depends what you count, innit? It's all the same thing, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's all the same thing. It's supply and demand and working hard. So my first experience was in school, the classic selling sweets stuff. But I used to just buy stuff from the bakery. And then there was one boy, we thought he had loads of money. We found out he was just teething it from his mum and dad, yeah. But he was trying to like buy friends, so he'd always buy stuff off me. So I remember in year 7, I bought my PlayStation with the money I'd made from shotting these cakes and sweets and ready to we had those desks you lift up, so I'd have sweets in there. But then they made me stop. And I remember buying my PlayStation and I was like, they made me stop, but I didn't have a memory card. So I used to have to leave my PlayStation on 24/7 because I couldn't save the games. Yeah. So that was my first experience. Then obviously, and then I think I did like tutoring when I was like 16 in the summer, trying to tutor some kids in the area in maths and stuff. Because I did like my maths GCSE early and French, I think, yeah. So then they're my first experiences, and then in the real world, property and music and yeah, well, even venues, things I did with my mum, loads of different things. Yeah. Obviously, you've come to me with the proposition. So what made you do that?
Do you know what's funny, yeah? So, G is like, you know when somebody is correct, and you know when I say if you're of African descent, like Nigerian descent, someone says that is a correct guy. He's just always been a correct guy. And when I spoke to him about the idea, he also brought a flip side, and it was never negative. Because I think sometimes you can bring an idea, people are like, I don't want to speak about my idea because people are going to put it down. But it wasn't that he was saying he was saying, okay, cool, how do we look at this? And the input was very direct and very early. And most importantly, he didn't overpromise. He said what he was going to say, and he did what he did. And in the period of time that we've been here, he's done nothing but like, he's obviously has a massive social media presence, and he's done exactly what he said he was going to do, exactly what he said in the tin. And he hasn't come in like, okay, cool, I'm a shareholder. Never once has he done that, you know. And that's something I actually want to thank you for. And that's the trust as well. Likewise, you trust 100%. Me to do that. I trusted you to do this. And also like the development where we're going, like it's actually bigger than I probably thought, but he probably knew. Do you know what I mean? Like I was doing something I love, the passion. But he's like, cool, we love this, but this is actually a serious message that we're about to deliver here. That person, for real.
Yeah. My main thing is people, because the things we do, we're going to do many things in our life, you know what I mean? Like this feels like, oh, this is our last hurrah, we get to the stage, well, it'll be something else. By the time we're 60, we do something else and blah, blah, blah. People are the most important thing. I go to bed these days watching YouTube documentaries on people, and yesterday I was watching Elon Musk, and obviously he made like one business called Zip, then he made a company called X, then they bought PayPal, then he's done Tesla, then he's going to space, and you think that's where it's gonna end, but he'll do something else after that, because it's the person. Like when Jay-Z would tell you you're a hustler, and you thought it was, when I was young, you thought it's because you can sell weed. But nah, you're a hustler because in any environment, you're going to work out the way to go. And I think that's what I saw with Clem, because when I was young, coming up to West End was just for shopping. He was working there, for real. And I know this sounds mad, but when you're young and he had a job. He had a job. That's a trustworthy guy. If you could hold down a job in 10 times there, you're a G, because it was too easy to be led astray. Trust me. And those kind of qualities there, you can't buy, you know, the ones there. So,
what made you be like, yo, obviously we've known each other since we were little kids. Yeah. Our mums are from the same place in Nigeria or whatever. And we've been so many Nigerian parties, that's another story. Yeah. But like, what made you be like, because you know I was in a situation looking for people to help me out, and I came, boom, this is what happened. What made you think, you know what, I'm in on this, you know? I'm actually like, because you didn't even hesitate. I wish I came to you first.
Yeah, no, but I was explaining to them, look, because of your CV in hospitality, it was an easy decision, and I believe that whenever you're doing business, you may not be, you know, well versed in the field that you're going to pursue, but the main thing that you're going to have to do is work with experts, and an expert is just someone who knows what they're doing, someone who's been in the business for that long, and you did over your 10,000 hours in the field. Yeah. So it was an easy decision in that regard. Do you know what I mean? And obviously the mere fact that I've known you for so long, we're family at the end of the day. Since kids, we've done fucking tribal dancing together, do you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? We've worn war paint and been chestless.
Trust me.
Like topless with a pigeon chest, you know. Do you know what I mean? In a rapper, like, so it's, and not that you can do business with all your family members, but energy and expertise is why I felt very comfortable to take the plunge.
No, bro, you know, your support and your input has been massively, obviously we're here, innit?
Yeah,
5 years later, we're here, bro.
This is it. That's why I was just saying to the guys, it's mad to think that we've actually, however big or small, we technically now own a part of history for a lot of people's lives, really and truly.
And this building will always be called Prince of Peckham.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not when we sell it and get all the money.
Only joking. Well, first, I think every boy who grew up in South East London or in and around Peckham would say, "Oh, I'm the Prince of Peckham," right? And alliteration's quite powerful. So like the Prince and the Peckham, it just pops off, and then also it's pop, right? But these are all afterthoughts. So actually, the whole name was born from. So when I came from Nigeria to this country, there was nothing on television that representing our position, where we were, me, my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister, other than Desmond's, right? And Desmond's was, for me, was like just the show. You know, you stay up late, like we had to go to bed early, but it was the one show my mum and dad would actually let us stay and watch together. You know, you had Desmond and Shirley, came from Guyana, their children were born here, which is very similar to our situation, even though we were born in Nigeria, but very similar. But Desmond's, the barbershop, was like, just come chat, chill. You don't even have to cut your hair. We're just creating a base for everyone to be in. And you know, you had Tony, the white hairdresser. You had, but then you had Lee Stanley, the Peckham Prince, who was, you know, patois 1 minute, Cockney the next. Black leather coat, tapered jeans, white vest, like swag on fleek, but don't mess around, he'll give it to you kind of thing. And it was the Peckham Prince. And I just thought like, this is it, right? This is like what we are. Yes, we're black British, I'm Nigerian born, but I like nice things. I want to be fleek, I want to be nice, I want to create a space that we can chat with people. And you just genuinely feel like I can come in there. Do you know, I think in my upbringing, young people are normally written off, particularly when you're black. You know, just I remember some of the jobs I've had, like part-time jobs working in certain retail establishments. You're given a job, and you almost slightly feel like it's begrudging, and you're always watched when you're working. I've been fired from a few jobs, not gonna lie. And I think for me it's very important to set, like, I think our generation, or where I'm at now, we're not that important. And I always think about the next generation. I've got 2 kids, and I think about what are we providing, what platform are we providing for them to launch off? Because if our parents' jobs were to bring us here, and for us to then go and find the seeds of opportunity. But once we find the seeds of opportunity, those trees need to grow, and then it's for our children to know that those trees are there to be climbed. And once you're there at those heights, you can see everything, and we're there to provide that. So for me, it was very, very important to provide a space, like even doing this here with you guys, with GUAP, like, how sick is that? You know, you guys are the next gen, and you're telling this story to the next generation of people to let them know that it's possible. We can all do this, and our streets of Peckham or your local area is paved with gold. We don't always have to look up. If we look down, we can see the opportunities.
Hi, I'm Matty Chalby. I am a DJ and radio presenter from South London. I mean, growing up, the only idea of a pub I had was like Spoons, and that was scary. I didn't feel like it was really a space for me. You know, I thought it was for the geezers. I thought it was for white people as well, in particular. I just didn't really see myself or people that looked like me being in a pub. But I think Prince of Peckham completely changed my perception of what a pub actually was. It's warm, it's inviting. You can come here and just be yourself, and it's full of it's got such a diverse crowd as well, and I really like it. It's a space for everyone to just come, be themselves, and have a good time. Everyone starts somewhere, and I think a lot of people might look at me and just be like, wow, oh my God, like this is insane, like how did you do it? And it's like, I did it because I came to a space that allowed me to just be me, made me feel comfortable enough to ask for the opportunity. And I might have not got the opportunity there and then, but a couple months later, the opportunity was there and I kind of ran with it. And I just think DJing here and being allowed to be Matty Chiabi in a space that is accepting of every single side of my personality is so, so important. And I really feel like I was able to blossom. I've never been sort of limited to what music I can play. I've never been limited to how I can behave, who I can bring to Prince of Peckham as well. It's always just been a space for me to just come and explore my identity as well. So I feel like for the time that I've worked with Prince of Peckham, I've actually grown as a person, and it's really, really helped me realize who I am, what I like, what I'm about, and ultimately who Matty Chiabi is.
When someone comes into a party or a club, it's the best version of themselves. Any problems, any headaches, they kind of leave at the door and they come in. And with all those different things combined and also creating a space that nobody felt alien, I think that was like the real important thing, because I still go back to like being 5, 6 years old in Heathrow Airport with my mum, my brother, my sister, and I'm thinking like, where the hell am I? Like, as much as there's so much opportunity, I still felt like I don't belong. And it was, and I just wanted a space that was always about welcoming every single person, every single race, every single age group, whether you're old or new Peckham, old or new, wherever area you're in, there should always be a space that really welcomes everyone that resides there. So that's kind of where we are today.
I would have said that, you know, for me, like, it's G-Fresh, I would have, money, make money. That was kind of where I was before with it all, do you know what I mean? And when it comes to when it came to the 5-year point for this pub, I understood the importance of its mere existence, you know, them ones that, even if it didn't make money, right? Because it means so much to so many people. And I said to Clem one day, the beautiful thing about Prince of Peckham is that it means something completely different to every single person. And I think being able to create that is what I'm not really like, I'm a person that, you know, I believe you just die and, you know, everything goes black and whatever the fuck happened while I was here, it doesn't really matter, right? But I do like the fact that G-Fresh means something to someone. Someone goes, when I was in uni, it was this. When I was in school, it was this. And now Prince of Peckham is that. It's like, oh yeah, we used to go, there's going to be kids that they're going to get to a certain age. They go, nah, we're not going Prince of Peckham because we rinsed it when we were young. And I'm like, all right, like, we went there every Saturday, and then there's someone else that just goes there and loves the food, and then someone else loves the quiz night, and all of these different things. I'm like, yeah, that's mad. This is sick. Someone's going to have had their first kiss. Someone probably got, I don't know, fingered in a corner somewhere. Do you know what I mean? For the first time, I don't know. It means a lot to a few people, and I'm proud of that aspect more than anything else. But I do still like the money as well.
Yeah, of course.
Women are doing things that once upon a time we didn't think that we could do. I never thought that I could be a DJ. I thought that, like, even now, it's so sad, but when I think of a DJ, I literally think of a white man behind the decks just doing his thing. Whereas now, like, there are women DJs everywhere. There are women who are in positions of power and are leaders and are DJs and are just doing amazing things that once upon a time we could not do. So I think having a space that celebrates us, even in its name, is well overdue. And I'm so glad that Clem and the whole team at Prince of Peckham are allowing that to happen and bringing it to life.
My whole thing is like, we're all royals, we're all regal. You know, when I think about African culture, I think about the robes, and you know, I'm just like, why do we play ourselves down? Like, there's no one more regal than African people, right? So I think about Prince of Peckham, Queen of the South. So I wanted to keep it all very regal. And then obviously the name, because the pub itself is bang on the South Circular. So I wanted to do that. But the next one I always wanted it to be very feminine led. I wanted it to be very empowering for women. I think about my mum, and I think about like the strength in which she have and still has at her age. I think about my wife, my sister, my daughters. You got 2 daughters. You start thinking about like the strength of the most oppressed person on this earth is a darker skinned woman, right? And I think about the bosom of any community is the woman. So I just think like, Queen of the South. And the name just, and don't get me wrong, I played around with another couple of names. I was like, but when I said Queen of the South, I was like, rah. This is quite powerful. And I thought I'd put it to other people, see what they thought. Every single person said the same thing, like, oh, Prince of Peckham, Queen of the South. I get it. But again, this name I had in my head I copywrote this name from like October 2019. I know there's a Netflix film which I haven't watched, but in terms of like hospitality and bars, I was like, has no one actually coined this? Which just goes to show in terms of like timing and just when you follow, I think when you follow a process in creativity, everything comes to light. If you start at the end, sometimes you can miss things. So you start from the beginning and think about like my ethos, the values, my beliefs. Queen of the South was only right to be used. And the space itself, it's a shithole at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, it's an absolute mess. But it's bigger than this one. Like I said, bang on the corner of South Circular, right outside Tulse Hill Station. And we're gonna, we've taken 5 years to get to this pub where it looks now. So obviously now we know a few more tricks in terms of how it's going to look from the beginning. But there's going to be a few surprises. People are going to be like, oh, rah. We're trying to get a music studio in there to work with the local schools, local kids, but also like there's talent on the streets of South East London. If we can provide an affordable studio space for so many people to make music, and hopefully we can be involved in the process or we can say like we help someone get to where they've got to. Because I just think one of the things that's lacking in like today's communities are spaces for young people. Space for young people to release their creativity, to release their frustrations, just to have somewhere to be creative in. So yeah, we're hoping that we can make that happen too. But yeah, Queen of South is going to be a void. It's going to be a void, I tell you.